On Global TV News Prime, President Tinubu swears in Disu as Substantive Inspector General of Police. In business, Nigeria's Business Confidence Index hit record high point in February. On the foreign scene, ECOWAS member states plan new force to counter terrorist threats. And in sport, Super Falcons defeat Cameroon 3-1 in pre-Women's African Cup of Nations friendly. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Mukhtar Kasim. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. And now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has sworn Olatunji Disu in as the Inspector General of Police. Disu took the oath of office at the council chambers of the Presidential Villa, Abuja, shortly before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council meeting on Wednesday. Kikelomo Okere has details.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu also administered the oath of office to 6 commissioners of the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission and 2 from the Federal Civil Service Commission. The ceremonies were witnessed by ministers, senior government officials and family members of the appointees. The council meeting began shortly after the swearing-in ceremonies. In attendance were Vice President Kashim Shettima, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, among others. Disu was appointed as the Acting Inspector General of Police on February 25, 2026 by President Tinubu, following the resignation of former IGP Kayode Egbetokun. Speaking to State House correspondent afterwards, the new IGP outlined his plans to reform and strengthen the Nigerian police force.
I will discharge my duties to the best of my ability, faithfully and in accordance with the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the law, and always in the interest of the sovereignty, integrity, solidarity, well-being and prosperity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That I will exercise the authorities vested in me as Inspector General of Police so as not to impede or prejudice the authorities lawfully invested in the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
With his former inaugurations, expectations are high that Olatunji Disu will position the Nigerian police force to tackle insecurity, restore public trust, and deliver on critical reform under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Kikelomo Okere, Global Television News.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has inaugurated a committee on state policing, describing it as a bold step to strengthen Nigeria's security architecture. Again, Kikelomo Okere reports.
Community policing takes center stage as the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, sets a new tone for modern policing in Nigeria. He says the move signals a shift towards community-based policing aimed at bringing law enforcement closer to the people and improving response to local security challenges. Inaugurating the committee in Abuja, the IGP stressed the need for innovative reform to tackle evolving security threats.
Policing holds significant potential benefits for our country. By bringing law enforcement closer to the communities, state police institutions can deepen local knowledge of security dynamics and enable quicker and more targeted response to emerging threats.
The Inspector General tasked the committee to develop a workable framework for state policing without undermining national security. He says the committee is also expected to address recruitment, training standards, funding, and accountability mechanism to ensure professionalism and public trust. The police boss assures that the Nigerian police force will retain its constitutional role while focusing on complex crimes such as terrorism, cybercrime, and organized criminal networks.
This committee on state police we are inaugurating today has a critical responsibility. Your work will help shape the framework through which state policing may operate in Nigeria in a manner that strengthens rather than fragments our national security system.
The step listing, if properly implemented, will enhance local intelligence, improve rapid response, as well as strengthen security at the grassroots. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
Away from police affairs, President Bola Tinubu has directed the immediate release of approved funds to maintain Nigeria's space asset as part of implementing the revised 25-year National Space Policy Roadmap. The approval was given as the first National Space Council meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja, where the cast of implementing the roadmap will be forwarded to the Federal Executive Council for consideration. Officials say the move is aimed at strengthening satellite operations, regulation, and spectrum management, while repositioning space technology to support security, agriculture, disaster monitoring, and digital economy. A federal high court in Abuja has adjourned the terrorism trial of former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and his son to March 10, after the prosecution said the case file had been transferred to the Department of Public Prosecution and requested time to study it. The defendant faced charges linked to alleged terrorism financing and illegal possession of firearms, and both have pleaded not guilty to all counts. The court fixed the new date for commencement of trial, with the defense urging the matter be struck out if prosecution fails to open its case on the next adjourned date. Governors of Taraba and Benue State have ramped up joint efforts to curb lingering border insecurity in their respective states. The governors, Agbo Kefas and Hyacinth Alia, convened a high-level security meeting in Wukari with top officials, security chiefs, and traditional rulers from both states. Global Television correspondent Felicity Nderi reports.
Benue State Governor Hyacinth Alia on arrival in Wukari visited the paramount ruler of the Jukun Kingdom, the Aku Uka, Ishaku Ada Ali. He explained that the Benue State Executive Council, heads of security agencies, and traditional rulers are in Wukari to chart a practical course towards ending the recurring violence affecting communities in both states. Governor Alia commended the Akuka's role in promoting peace, stressing that stronger collaboration, intelligence sharing, and joint strategies between Taraba and Benue are essential to restoring lasting security.
Both have state challenges on insecurities. Our coming here is to enable us to create this collaboration, to see the possible framework we can put in place for the betterment of our people.
The Taraba State Governor, Agbo Kefas, described the engagement as a strong show of political will and shared responsibility towards ending insecurity, announcing the formation of a joint committee to implement resolutions reached at the meeting.
We are making progress. In this meeting, there is sincerity of purpose, there is commitment, there is unity to fight evil. So I want to assure you that the best will come out and there will be peace in these two states.
The Akuka of Wukari and Totif James Ayate emphasized the historical ties between the people of Benue and Taraba.
This is clearly an indication from the two sides for us to work towards a peaceful path in living together.
We want peace, and we have been trying to see that peace prevail, we coexist.
After the palace visit, the governors moved to Abako and Chachanji, where they met with internally displaced persons who shared their experience.
It's very bad to experience such things because always we have been running up and down because of herdsmen in this community. In fact, it's very terrible.
The joint engagement underscores renewed commitment by Agbo Kefas and Hyacinth Alia to deepen cross-border security cooperation and restore lasting peace to affected communities in southern Taraba and adjoining parts of Benue State. In Taraba, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
Let's now turn our attention to party politics, where the All Progressive Congress in Imo State has elected a new state executive council, with Austin Onyegbulelu emerging as chairman. Governor Hope Uzodinma described the development as a victory for unity and internal democracy. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
The Carlo Square in Owerri was filled with party faithfuls from across the state as delegates converged for State Congress of the All Progressive Congress, APC. Accreditation of delegates signaled the formal commencement of proceedings. Addressing members before voting began, Governor Uzodinma emphasized the need for unity and discipline, commending the adoption of a consensus-driven unity list.
We have, during our last meeting, agreed to be united and to produce a unity list. I'm not sure that there is anybody contesting any election to become a party officer against the unity list.
Also speaking, Chairman of the Congress Committee, Godwin Enahum, described the Congress as a crucial phase in the party's internal democratic process, noting that it follows the successful conduct of world and local government congresses. He assured delegates of a transparent and credible exercise in line with party guidelines.
As we conduct the State Congress today, let us maintain the spirit of peace and cooperation that characterize the World and AGA Congresses.
Thereafter, voting commenced, with delegates casting their ballots in an orderly manner under the supervision of the Congress Committee. Party officials monitored the process as votes were sorted and counted. At the conclusion of the exercise, the chairman of the Congress Committee formally announced the result, declaring Austin Onyegbulelu elected as state chairman alongside other state officers. Shortly after, the newly elected executive council members were sworn in and formally assuming responsibility for the leadership of the party at the state level.
So help me God.
In his acceptance speech, the newly sworn-in state chairman, Austin Onyegbulelu, pledged inclusive leadership and commitment to strengthening party structure across all local government areas of the state.
With unity, dedication, and commitment, we shall move our party to greater heights.
With the Congress over, party leaders says the focus now shifts to consolidation, unity, and preparations for future electoral engagements in the state. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
And now to Benue State, where Governor Hyacinth Alia has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to delivering lasting, people-driven projects that will drive development across the state, with continued backing from the federal government. He made this known during the State Congress of the All Progressive Congress, APC. Felicity Nderi reports.
At the Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida IBB Square in Makurdi, delegates and major stakeholders of the ruling All Progressive Congress assembled for the State Congress to elect new party officials. Governor Hyacinth Alia was present, leading other key stakeholders in the proceedings.
And after they do their job, if you're not satisfied with what is done here, there is a window for you to approach the Congress Appeal Committee, and the chairman is Mustafa Lawal Malumfashi, PhD.
A representative of the National Working Committee of the All Progressive Congress, serving as chairman of the State Congress Committee, addressed the delegates.
I urge all aspirants and delegates to show sportsmanship. The party interests must always come first.
Governor Hyacinth Alia hailed the Congress as peaceful and urged the new executive to serve diligently, pledging continued good governance for Benue.
Let us continue to show the truth of who we are, what we do as a party to bring progress and development, and to prepare a future for our great state.
Benjamin Omale, the new All Progressive Congress state chairman, in his acceptance speech, pledged a peaceful and inclusive leadership.
To move our party forward, we shall strengthen the grassroots mobilization across all the wards, promote reconciliation and bring everybody on board, encourage youth and women participation in leadership, build strong partnership in business community to support development initiatives.
The Congress concluded successfully, with party leaders and delegates expressing optimism that the newly elected 4-year executive of the APC will strengthen party unity and drive development across Benue State. At the IBB Square in Makudi, Felicity Ndera, reporting for Global Television News.
Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress APC in Kano State last night held its Congress to elect party officials. The event, which took place at the indoor hall of the Sani Abacha Stadium, witnessed large turnout of party faithfuls amidst tight security. Here is Adia Kubu's report.
The Congress was marked by the affirmation of party executives and renewed pledges of loyalty to the party's leadership at both the state and national levels. Delegates, women and youth groups, as well as serving and former public office holders were present at the event. In his address, the Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf commended the party's membership for their steadfastness and commitment to the ideals of the party, describing the Congress as a demonstration of internal democracy and party cohesion. The governor said the peaceful conduct of the exercise reflected the maturity of the party in Kano State. He urged newly elected and returning executives to work inclusively and reiterated his administration's commitment to infrastructural development, education reform, healthcare improvement, and youth empowerment. He said the party's performance in government would remain its strongest campaign tool ahead of 2027. Also speaking at the event, Deputy Senate President Barau Jibril lauded the Kano APC for conducting what he described as a credible and orderly Congress. He emphasized the importance of unity within the party, particularly as the nation moves closer to another general election cycle. Jibril called on party leaders to avoid actions that could lead to division, stressing that internal disputes should be resolved through dialogue and established party mechanisms. He assured members that the leadership of the National Assembly would continue to support policies and legislation aimed at improving the welfare of Nigerians. Party officials confirmed that the exercise was conducted in line with the APC's constitution and guidelines. Observers described the Congress as largely peaceful, with delegates expressing optimism that the outcome could strengthen the party's grassroots structures across the state. The event ended with the vote of confidence in the party's leadership at the state and national levels, as chants of solidarity echoed across the venue. Sadia Yakubu for Global Television News.
Let's move away from politics now and talk health, where the World Obesity Day is observed on the 4th of March every year to raise awareness about obesity as a chronic disease and encourage solutions that go beyond individual responsibility. Our correspondent Zara Unasir takes a look at the significance of the day and files in this report.
According to the World Obesity Atlas 2026, around 180 million children aged 5 to 19 were living with obesity in 2025, and the number could rise to about 227 million by 2040 if stronger action is not taken. Health experts note that obesity significantly increases the risk of conditions such as type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and certain cancers. Children with obesity are more likely to remain obese in adulthood, which increases their risk of long-term health complications. A consultant with Abuja Clinics, Dr. Ojuku Obonna, speaks on the causes of obesity.
His lifestyle is a part of it, what we call energy imbalance, inactivity, sedentary lifestyle. Then there are some genetic predisposition. Some people have some genetic things that have inherited that predisposes them to obesity.
Dr. Obonna also mentioned the preventive measures, which include exercises, medical checkups, and avoidance of fast foods, among others.
Preventive methods includes things that you need to do to prevent that energy imbalance, prevent sedentary lifestyle, then modify some of those genetic predispositions. For example, you need to be active. You need to exercise. Some people are encouraged that you do up to 150 to 300 minutes of exercise per week. Then you sleep well, what we call sleep hygiene. An adult should have up to 7 to 8 hours of sleep in the night per day. Then in terms of food, avoid high carbohydrate diets, especially refined, highly processed food, fast food, just to make it clearer. Then avoid drinks that have a lot of sugar in it.
The theme of the 2026 World Obesity Day is 8 billion reasons to act on obesity. Every person, every community, and every system has a role to play in building a healthier future. Zahra Unasr, reporting for Global TV.
You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather forecast plus business, foreign, and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
It's good to have you with us on the weather forecast. We're starting off from the southern region of the country where an increased influx of moisture is expected to trigger cloud buildup. This means thunderstorms are likely in parts of Kwara, Oyo, Ogun, and Lagos states. And as the day progresses, most parts of the southwest and the stretch of the coast will experience thunderstorms. Elsewhere in the south, conditions will be mostly partly cloudy in a hazy atmosphere. As we go up north, visibility continues to improve across the north central and some parts of the northern states, although parts of Katsina, Kano, Jigawa, and Kebbi states are likely to experience moderate dust haze with visibility in the range of 2 to 5 kilometers. If you're in this region, please take necessary precaution. It's going to be quite warm across the north central, where temperatures are peaking at 39 degrees Celsius in the Federal Capital Territory and Makurdi in Benue State. So as always, please remain well hydrated and take necessary precaution. That's the forecast for Thursday. I am Theodora Itzum. Thank you for watching.
And now to business news, where the Nigerian Economic Summit Group says Nigeria's Business Confidence Index has climbed to a record 117.2 points in February 2026, up from 105.8 in January. The report said growth was broad-based, led by non-manufacturing and manufacturing, with services, trade and agriculture also returning to expansion. Now, despite improved outlook, businesses still flagged key constraints, including infrastructure gaps, insecurity, high operating costs, and limited access to afford credit. Still talking business, the House of Representatives Committee on Finance has rejected the revenue presentation by the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading Company, citing incomplete documentation and gaps in the submission. Lawmakers say the agency must return within 1 week with comprehensive record for proper scrutiny. National Assembly correspondent Anita Patrick reports.
The resumed revenue monitoring session of the House Committee on Finance turned tense as lawmakers expressed dissatisfaction with the presentation by the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC. Members of the committee said the agency failed to provide critical supporting documents needed to assess its revenue profile. Chairman of the committee, James Faleke, directed MBED to return with complete and detailed documentation within 1 week.
GENCO money is private sector money. If DISCO pays us for the energy of taking, we are supposed to apply that money to pay GENCOs. So, and some of those times we provide treasury clarification, right? This is GENCO money.
Minister of Finance to appear before us on Tuesday and come and defend the reasons why individuals should bear the brunt or should lead us into debt.
Lawmakers, including Stanley Adedeji, raised concerns over discrepancies and missing records in the agency's submission, stressing the need for transparency and accountability in revenue reporting.
I would like to raise a motion that we step them down for 2 reasons. Number one, this submission is not legible. And number two, we have about 70-something members, over 100 members of this committee, and for us to receive only 5 submissions, I think it's just inadequate.
Similarly, the National Sugar Development Council stepped down its presentation, citing inadequate documentation. The committee also directed other affected agencies, including the Federal Ministry of Finance and the Corporate Affairs Commission, to complete their submissions and reappear before the panel within 1 week. Chairman James Faleke maintained that only thorough documentation would enable the National Assembly to carry out effective legislative oversight and ensure all government revenues are properly accounted for.
Which is Tuesday next week, by God's grace, or Wednesday next week. Today's Wednesday. Wednesday next week, to appear before us, and you must have submitted those documents to us before, all right? And when you are coming to all the sugar allottees or allocations you have made, make it part of your documents.
The committee says the exercise is part of efforts to strengthen revenue monitoring and enhance funding support for upcoming federal budgets. From the National Assembly, Aniette Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
On the foreign scene, countries of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, are finalizing plans to create a regional force to confront terrorists and widening insecurity across West Africa. The proposed first phase targets about 2,000 troops expected to remain based in their home countries, with Sierra Leone serving as a logistic hub. Now, funding and operational details are still being worked out, while officials say cooperation with Sahel countries outside ECOWAS remains important. And now to sport. Nigeria's Super Falcons beat Cameroon 3-1 in Yaoundé in the second phase of their pre-WAFCON friendly matches, bouncing back after losing the first game 1-0. Chiwendu Ihezuo equalized before halftime, with Rinsola Babajide putting Nigeria ahead, and Michel Alozie added a third in the second half. The result boosts Nigeria's preparation for the Women's African Cup of Nations in Morocco, where the top 4 teams are set to qualify for next year's FIFA Women's World Cup. Now, as Global TV News Prime comes to an end, here is a recap of our top stories. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in Olatunji Disu as the Inspector General of Police. Disu took the oath of office in the council chamber of the Presidential Villa in Abuja shortly before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council meeting on Wednesday. In business, the Nigeria Economic Summit Group says Nigeria's Business Confidence Index climbed to a record 117.2 points in February 2026, up from 105.8 in January. On the foreign scene, we brought to you that countries of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, are finalizing plans to create a regional force to confront terrorists and widening insecurity across West Africa. And in sports, Nigeria Super Falcons beat Cameroon 3-1 in Yaoundé in the second phase of their pre-WAFCON friendly matches, bouncing back after losing the first game 1-0. That's it on News Prime. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using our Global TV NG. I am Mukhtar Kasim, saying a very big thank you for watching.